Welcome to another installment of The Inspired Teacher. This is continuing Willow 2. I'm going to call this lesson Putting It All Together. Today my practice partner is Paul Idner, my longtime student and disciple. So up to this point, if you watched the first three parts, you learned about how to attack the center line, center gravity, and stance line. And I've given you a lot of information. It's really easy to understand in your head, but it takes a long time to get it in your body. So if you're not getting the desired results just now, just keep practicing and it'll start to pay off. So the hard part is now putting it all together. And again, if you have trouble putting it together, then just pick one or two of those attacking ideas until they become second nature. One thing I try to tell people is to have like an opening movement, like your opening move in chess, and then you can kind of look at the stance line, center of gravity, and center line. So I'm going to step on this side. Left foot forward. So we're doing Willow 2, which is I'm attacking the three parts, and he's doing Willow 1, which is bending out of it. So here's just a really simple way to start. I'm just going to start by pushing his shoulder. So once I push his shoulder, that's the stance line. I'm going to put my hand right on his upper arm, and that's going to line my push-up with the center line. And because I'm above his center of gravity, I'm going to push slightly down. So that's going to make his stance go. So I want to have that. I want to have that be like one of my opening movements, which is I'm going to turn him and then push slightly down. And you can willow out. You can try to willow out. And my advice to you is do some of these ideas until you're bored with them, until they work every single time, and then we can start to mix and match, and you'll be pleasantly surprised. Here's another one. I'm going to do a single push to his shoulder. So I'm going to push. Okay. Now, that is the weak line. I'm going to put my hand right on his elbow, which is going to line up my hand with the center line, and it's the same height as his center of gravity. I'm just going to push to that corner. So once I turn, okay, then I'm just going to go. And this is a place where my teacher's teacher said beginners push with two hands, advanced people push with one. It means I'm separating my hands, having them do different jobs or duties. Instead of always pushing and shoving with two hands, now I've got, this is my setup hand, and then I want to see what is available to me. I can do the same thing by pulling his shoulder. And I can do this all with one hand. So I'm going to pull his shoulder, and that is going to still open up that line. I'm above the center of gravity, so I'm going to push slightly down, and I'm going to aim right through the middle of his body. Yeah, try and wiggle out of it. Same thing, I'm going to use one hand. I'm going to pull this shoulder. And now I got the same idea. That's the weak line. I'm a little bit above his center of gravity, so I have to push slightly down. And I want to have the very middle of his body in between the direction I'm going to push and the line I want to push. So that'll give you an idea. Start with one push. See what their reaction is. Now mostly Tai Chi people, if you're doing Tai Chi, you should be yielding to pressure. You know, you're soft and yielding and all that. You know, the whole idea behind yielding is for when you're working with somebody stronger than you. If you're stronger than everybody, you don't have to yield. But in Tai Chi, it's a strategy. If I'm stronger than him, he wants to give way. Okay, looks like magic. It looks like magic chi. It's just simple mechanics, attacking the structure. So that's one way you can put this all together. Okay, so that's my idea. One way to put it together, which is have an opening move or two, and then stop if you can, take a look, and try to compose your attack by, like we did, attacking the weak line of the stance, cutting through the center line, and either above, below, or on the center of gravity. Now, my teacher, Master Liang, he put together a 7-point formula of how to put this all together to attack the lines. A lot of times he would just say, attack the line, and he meant it all. And I know it's a lot of information, but the good news is that this is going to be a chapter in my upcoming book. I'll leave an excerpt about some of this for you in the descriptions, but much more detail in my book. And again, I can only get so much information across in the cyber world. It's a lot different when you're feeling it. So the first point that Master Liang taught is he'd say, you must find the line. This is what we're doing now. What he meant is you need to figure out where is the weak point of the stance. So we've been doing that by walking around, thinking about that person is on a compass, and gently pushing, and then trying to find the weakest line to push while we're doing the Willow 2. And then the same thing, where's the center of gravity? So you're trying to find it. Well, he gave us an idea. It's about solar plexus height. And then if you're above it, you've got to go down to it. If you're below it, you've got to go up to it. And if you're on it, you can stay parallel. And then the center line, which is that invisible line in the middle of the body, prevents that person from turning. You want all your attacks to cut through it. So you're already doing the first part, which is to find the line. The second part of Master Liang's formula, he called it push the line. So now when you've got an idea of where the line is, where the weak part is, center of gravity, all of that, you have to have the push, the whole body push to affect that. So in Tai Chi we have power of 3 kinds of pushes. We have power in a straight line, power on a plane, and power at a point. So here's 3 postures that you all know. So the posture push from the solo form, that's pushing in a straight line. I'm just pushing into a straight as I can line. Power on a plane is like diagonal flying. It doesn't go straight, it doesn't go left, it goes forward and over. It's like when you're throwing salt on the ground, or I don't know, you're feeding the chickens. It's a very wide area. And to get your power to change like that, you have to do it with your whole body. Your shoulder's not strong enough to support the power like that. And then the last one is power at a single point. So that is just short power. It's just giving them a sudden burst. Depending on what position they're in, you're going to use one of those kinds of pushes. Now, a technique like press, it's pretty specific to Tai Chi. There's a few martial arts that have this, but mostly this is in Tai Chi. Press is one of those ones that you can do 3 ways. So I can do press in a straight line. I can do press on an arc. And then I can do press at a single point. So when it comes time to attack those places, you want to push in one of those 3. That's what Master Liang called push the line. So the third stage in the formula, find the line, push the line. This is the one Master Liang called change the line. So sometime either the line you're pushing doesn't work, or that person neutralizes, then you have to change and go to a new line. So if I start with my setup, and now I'm going to push straight to this wall, and then she shifts back and turn, if I keep pushing the wall, she's just going to turn. So what happened is, because she turned, I got to change to a different line. So I'm going to push straight. When she turns, what I'm going to do is push over to the corner. When the weight's on the back, when the weight goes on the back, that becomes weak. That's a weak line. If the weight is forward, as we learned before, that's a strong line. But she went back to get out of this push. So here, she went back to get out of the push, then I'm just going to go off to the corner. So I'm changing the line. Another way to change the line is to use the other hand. So, really simple. Say I pull, and I push, and she gets out of it. I'm just going to use this hand to push the other line. So I'm pulling, I'm opening up that line. And as I push it, she neutralizes. I'm going to change the other hand and push it straight. Now again, we're just demonstrating. You know, it's not live time. Sometimes when that person's really loose, you're going to have to change a lot. So I pull, I push this line, she turns. I push this line, she turns, and I go back to the corner. So I've got to be open. I've got to be free enough to change which line. Now, I'm not going to force any one line. I'm actually going to do the line that they offer to us. So the next one is follow the line. This is like a heat-seeking missile. Like a heat-seeking missile, somebody who's really loose and flexible. I'm on the center line or the center of gravity, whatever, but it's changing. I can actually feel where it's moving to, and I just want to follow it and change it till I can get them out of their stance. So once it's moving and changing and following, okay. Or, wherever it's going, I want to follow it. She's trying to get out, and I'm just following wherever that line is. So I'm not gonna let up. I'm just gonna keep changing. If I just do one big push, it's done. So I'm saving the push. I'm saving the push for when it gets okay. When I feel it, then I can go. So that's like a dog chasing a cat, all over the place. Once you're on there, just follow it till you can get them out of their stance. Okay, so number 5 is setting up the line. So sometime that first push is to get them to move, or to make an opening, and also to see how they're going to react to you. So you're setting up with one hand, and the real push is going to be with the other hand. The Chinese have a saying, signal east, strike west. It means, you fake out the other army, you make a signal that the army's going to go east, everybody goes to east, but then you really strike west. It's an idea that I'm going to use one hand, kind of signal, figure out what's going on, and then the other hand is going to take advantage of what happens. So again, if I push, I want to see where's she going to be for that, then I can push the line with the other hand. Or I'm trying to find out what's going on here. Okay, then I can go with the other one. So I'm going to set something up with one hand and push with the other hand. So set up with one hand, push with the other hand. We've been doing all the high stuff. I can still do a lot. I set up with one hand and push with the other hand. So number 6, Master Liang called it controlling the line. So now you're going to use one push and use a little bit of energy and hold them in the place that you want, where hard for them to get away, so that then you can attack the stance line, center of gravity. So if he's, you know, all really flexible and everything and turn like that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this. So when I start to push here, like if I relax here, he'll just turn. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to control that turn. So when I set this up, I'm just going to leave a little bit of energy. Now you turn. Go ahead, turn. It's not a lot of energy, but I'm actually going to control how he turns because I've got this hand set for the push. Same thing here. So if I push, and now I go to push here, and I relax this hand, he'll just turn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to control his turn. So I'm just going to use a little bit of energy. Now try and turn. So it's not a lot. If he wanted to force that, that would be great. So if I go here and he wants to force that, good, then I change to the next line. So, you know, this is like, now once I can separate my hands, I mean, really, beginners are kind of like both of them are either stiff or both of them are soft. When you can have both hands do different jobs, you can start to attack and change, and now you can start to control as you attack the lines. So number 7 is T Fang. T means to raise or lift up, and Fang means to release. So what Master Liang would do is for people that weren't soft and then they didn't want to follow or they weren't getting anywhere, he would use T Fang. When you lose balance or you tense up, you automatically connect your stance line, your center line, center of gravity. Everywhere that the person touches, it makes it a good place to attack. So if Master Liang was doing the Willow 2 and that person was resisting whatever, he would do T Fang. He always called it withdraw attack. The specific name is T Fang. The reason I don't call it withdraw attack is because there's about 1 billion Tai Chi techniques called withdraw attack. So it's like, which one? So T means to lift or raise, and Fang means to release a burden. So say I'm pushing on Robert and I need a bunch of resistance. You see how he anticipated it and he fell up? That's T. So when I let go. So when he resists, as soon as I feel resist, I want to release and then go. So the withdraw makes him fall up. Think about any time you've ever fallen in the solo form, you lose your balance, you don't go down, you go up. And then Fang means to release, so usually it's short power. So if we were doing Willow and he was like resisting me, instead of forcing it, I would start to do the T Fang. So this Master Liang was really good at this. You know, he would bait you and get you to kind of anticipate, and as soon as you firmed up a little bit, he would withdraw attack, and it was really easy to get you. So number 7 is T Fang. If you're doing, I can put your hands down. If we're doing like say, you know, Willow 2, and I'm pushing. Okay, so he's neutralizing. Look, he's going all over the place. Then I want to do one of the other techniques, either follow, change, set up, or control. But if right in the middle, all of a sudden, like he gets really stiff, then what I want to do is I want to let go. So if he, at some point, he doesn't want to neutralize anymore, I'm just going to release. I'm going to go back a little bit. The reason I go back is to make him fall up, and go forward a little bit, that's to release him.